Hi, I'm Lowell Martin, and this is MCC Today, your place for all kinds of educational news. And today on MCC Today, we have Miss Kristy Ethridge. How are you doing?
I'm great.
Now, you are the Hca Program Coordinator.
That's right.
And one of the instructors. Now, Hca stands for Healthcare Assistant.
Healthcare Assistant.
Okay. And in today's world, in our pandemic world, would these be considered essential?
They are. They're even more essential now. I mean, because they can't, they're having a hard time getting tested, so they're just very, very needed and very essential. They're
If you finish this program of study, and how long is the program of study?
It's one semester.
Okay,
16 credit hours, one semester.
Okay, so after one semester, what jobs does it open up for you if you have this certification?
Okay, after one semester, you take the state exam.
Okay.
And then you become a certified nurse assistant.
Okay.
And then any nursing home, I mean, you have your pick of your job because there are so many that is needed. But you can work in a nursing home, you can work in a hospital, you can do private sitting. I have previous students that are working, can't think where they, I can't think of the word of it, but where they send them out to where they're needed.
Okay.
They may go to a hospital one day, they may go to a nursing home one day. I have some that are doing travel CNA.
Really? Okay.
Yes, I have some in Alaska and Maine.
Well, that was going to be my next question. So once they take the test, they can do this anywhere in the States?
Anywhere, yes, and yeah, they can transfer their certification to anywhere, so they can work anywhere.
Wow. Okay.
But we need them here.
But we do need them here.
We need them here.
What is the, I mean, I know you keep track of students after they leave to see how, they're employed and things like that. What's the rate of employment pretty much, if you don't mind me asking? Is it pretty good?
It is, it's really good. Some of them have jobs throughout the semester and they may stay at that present job, which is not healthcare related for whatever, but if they want a job, it's out there.
Okay.
We have nursing homes and hospitals call us, on a weekly basis. Send us some good people. Send us some.
Now, do you
CNAs.
also have any of these healthcare assistants plan to go into other medical fields?
Yeah, we have a lot of that actually, because if you don't know, because a lot of people, like young people, they don't know what they want to do. If you don't know that nursing is exactly what you want to do, if you just really aren't sure, it's a good place to start.
Okay.
Because it's one semester. There's no prerequisites. You have to have a 15 on your ACT, or you can take the Accuplacer and make a 230.
Okay, so no prerequisite classes.
No prerequisites. You can come, do one semester. You'll know if you like nursing or not after our class.
Okay, yes.
And then
'cause I come and speak to your class sometimes. So.
That's right. And then plus you get a point for being in our class and being admitted to the LPN or the ADN program. They admit by the point system. So that would help you be a little more competitive, and plus you learn so much of what they learn in their first semester that, it'll make you a lot, not easier for you, but it'll give you a lot of that information.
It'll help with that firm foundation that you need when you're
That's
getting
right.
into nursing. Now, a lot of the, do you think it's possible when you start with the healthcare assistant program that possibly you could work while you're going into and studying to be, in the LPN or ADN programs?
Definitely. Sometimes places will hire student nurses, and I really don't know if they do anymore, but I know they will always hire a CNA, and they will work around your school schedule, and so I mean that's always a plus.
They want to keep you.
Right.
If they can possibly keep you.
And some places even offer incentives like paying your tuition if you're going back to school for LPN or RN and you're working there as a CNA. So
now, how many new students do you take in each semester?
30.
You take, okay, my goodness, okay,
30. And we still have a few spots available.
Okay.
So if that's something somebody's interested in, they can contact Anna Hall or me directly, and our numbers and website and all that's on the, our email is on the website.
Okay. Now, and so you said the ACT score has to be what?
15.
They have to have at least a 15. That's composite score.
That's right,
Okay,
composite
so
score.
they have to have at least a 15 and no other prerequisites.
No other prerequisites. And if
Okay.
you don't have your ACT, just see Anna Hall, our advisor, and she can hook you up with the acuplacer
Are your classes Monday through Friday?
Monday through Friday.
Okay, and typically speaking, what time do you generally finish?
8 until, it varies every day, because some days we have, like, one group will come in and do lab in the afternoon and the other group doesn't have to. So, 1, 2 o'clock.
Okay, but so someone could still have a part-time job
Oh, yeah,
while they're
definitely.
taking your program.
Definitely.
And
And
I
then
know from-
Fridays are a little different too.
Okay.
We just have a group come in for a couple of hours, another group for a couple of hours. So Friday would be a short day.
Okay, so they can, they could take the, Friday and the weekends if they needed to
Right.
work, or
And the
a
afternoons
lot of them
during
have
the
children
week.
at home. Because
Right.
I've come and I've spoken to your class a few times, and a lot of them are talking about having family or trying to work and all of that. But this is a great program to do
It
while
really
they're doing
is.
that.
And we understand that most people have to continue to work.
Sure.
And a lot of them have kids. And so we try not to give a bunch of
I'm still
homework.
hoping on the lottery though.
And well, me too. Every day, but
Darn it. But
our
you actually
chances are
technically have
slim.
to play before you
You do.
win.
You do. So we try not to give them a lot of homework and a lot of busy work and that kind of So.
But a lot of the stuff that they go through in your program, if they go in the LPN or ADN program, they're going to see that again.
That's right.
So
they'll
it
be
is
comfortable
that
with clinical.
Okay.
That's one thing I hear is, the first time you go into clinical, our students are nervous anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So when they get into other programs, they're already comfortable with going in somebody's room and bathing them, taking care of them.
Sure.
So that's a breeze for them.
So
at that
if
time.
someone's interested, they just contact Anna Hall or contact you directly, and you still have a few slots available for
We do.
this coming fall.
That's right.
And then if that falls through for some reason, there's a new group that will start again in the spring.
In the spring.
Well, listen, thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you for
I
having me.
appreciate it. We'll be right back.
With so much uncertainty in our world, we are thankful for the heart and determination of those who have followed their calling in healthcare. They work tirelessly on the front lines every day to make a true difference in our community. At Meridian Community College, we take pride in training these heroes and are grateful for their service in this time of great need. These eagles found their wings at Meridian Community College.
And we have Miss Becky Higginbotham here today. How are you doing?
Doing great.
It is, thank goodness, a lovely day.
Yes.
You are the Health Information Technology Program Coordinator and one of the instructors. You're also Division Chair of Health Education. Am I right in there?
That's right.
How long have you been Division Chair? If you don't mind me
2
asking.
years.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so you have a lot on your plate. But we're here today to talk about health information technology. Okay. Now, what basically is that program? What do you do with that program, in that program, if you don't mind me
Okay,
asking?
so we are a 2-year health education program.
Okay.
We have had our program both in the classroom, traditional setting, and the online setting for a pretty good long while. And we...
Thank goodness for that when
Oh,
last
yeah,
March, when
that was-
COVID hit.
that was
You already
perfect.
had experience
Yep.
with the online stuff.
That's right. We were ready to go. And so our students are the target market for our students are people that want to work in healthcare but don't want to do necessarily patient care. So they don't necessarily want to do the bedside working with patients. We are behind the scenes. However, we're still really, really important in healthcare. Most of our graduates, about 90%, work in the area of medical coding.
Okay.
And so they do have the opportunity after graduation to take a certification examination. It's a national registry exam, so they do, if they pass, obtain their credentials. It's our RHIT, Registered Health Information Technician. And that's very important because in healthcare, it's all about the credentials that you have if you are qualified to do a position.
So if once they get this certification, they can go to any state and
Correct.
do this?
It is a national certification.
Excellent, excellent. Okay, and do most of your students take this certification or
Yes.
take this test?
They all take it.
Okay, okay, and I'm assuming that they do well.
Yes, we have wonderful pass rates.
Excellent.
Last year we were at 100%. Year before, this past year we're still waiting on results, but we do have a reputation for having really great pass rates. So we're
Okay.
very, very proud of that.
So once you finish this program, where typically can you get a job?
Okay, so any place that gives healthcare will be required to code medical records to get reimbursed by the insurance company. So hospitals, a lot of the graduates go to work at hospitals. We have graduates that work in the cancer registry over in Jackson, here in Meridian. Also performance improvement, where they look at processes that they can make better, so they collect data, they analyze. Privacy and security is a big area that we work with, keeping patient records confidential. So that's one thing I would say is that I love about the program. It has a lot of variety. You're not like stuck in doing one thing all day. If you want to get out and more work with people and be more active, you have that. Or if you just kind of want to be in your area and do your thing, you know, where you're not working with a lot of others, you're more working with the records, you know, you can do that. So there's a lot of variety. And I think that's a really big plus for the field of health information technology.
Are the employment opportunities pretty good?
We've had great placement. You know, this year's been a challenge because of the pandemic, but in the past, our records have, we've had great placement of our students finding jobs.
Typically speaking, how many new students do you accept in the fall?
Typically,
do you just accept students in the fall?
We only accept students in the fall. We typically accept 10 online and 15 in the classroom. This year we've had a little more interest in online because of the situation with you know, distance learning and all. So, but we have the opportunity to take up to 25.
Okay.
You know, so.
Okay. Do you have any openings left for this fall?
We're close, but I think we do have a few openings.
Okay. What are the prerequisites to get into your program?
So you do have to complete Anatomy and Physiology 1 and the lab and pass with at least a C. That is a prerequisite. That's the only course that you absolutely have to have taken. Okay. There's 3 avenues for admission. You can have an 18 on your ACT, or if you don't have
composite score 18. Okay.
If you do not have that, you can have taken the Accuplacer test, the math, and the English requirements or reading. So that's the second avenue. And then the third avenue is to have completed 12 hours of coursework, with 3 being in English Comp 1 and 3 in a qualifying math.
Okay.
So that's
you have
kind
to
of
have
like
at least a certain GPA in that.
2.0.
So it's a C. So you complete at least 12 hours with a C average, or you have the 18 composite score, or I can't remember what the third one was.
Accuplacer.
Or the Accuplacer. So you have 3 ways you can get in.
Right, but you do have to have the Anatomy and Physiology 1 already taken in the lab.
Okay.
Also, so if you are interested in any of the healthcare programs, I recommend, you know, people that are looking to the future, I recommend you go ahead and try to take the Anatomy and Physiology 1 course. We actually have a lot of students that go ahead and take 2 as well, because that'll get that out of the way. They won't have it to take when they get into the program.
That's excellent. Now I'm hoping in the Success Center this semester, last semester we had some tutors for A&P. So I'm hoping that we, you know, get those people back so that they can assist if needed. If, you know, because you need to at least have that C or above to be able to get in. Now I was out walking at Bonita a few months ago. Well, time is so weird now. And I saw there were 2 ladies walking, and I knew them from the college. And so at one point I finally just stopped and said, "Look, I know you from somewhere. Were you my student before?" And they had been, but they had finished the HIT program. And both of them were very, very complimentary of the program. Loved the program. They both had jobs before they graduated.
That sounds good.
They had jobs before they graduated, and have been, one of them I know, she said, I believe that she's been in it 7 or 10 years, and just absolutely loves it. So, you know, as I said, this was unsolicited.
Well, that makes me feel good, and I'm a product of the program. I graduated here many years ago, and I was able to go out and work and make a really good living, and it's been good to me, and I've enjoyed it, and I like I said, the variety of it. I knew that patient care was not for me, but I wanted to be in healthcare. I enjoy learning about the body, and it wound up being a good fit. So it's certainly, just because you don't want to necessarily work with patients is something to think about doing, so you can still be involved with healthcare.
I would be a wonderful nurse if not for the whole idea of blood.
Yeah, and other substances.
On other substances. No, just no. I'm 57 years old and still go into almost hysterics when a needle comes at me.
Well, we all have gifts, we all have gifts, and so we won't. Now, people in our field do tend to like organization and being organized and detailed.
That's very important.
It can be challenging, but it kind of it keeps it from getting boring, and so it's a pretty neat field.
So someone who is interested in this field, how do they get in touch with and get extra information about the HIT program?
Well, of course, we have on our website a lot of great information, but also you can contact me, Rebecca Higginbotham, and my phone number is 601-484-8758. My email is rhigginb@meridiancc.edu. And if you call my phone, I'll also have my email on my voicemail.
Okay. And
I would love to, talk with anybody or either email back and forth about the program. And I'll be as honest as I can. I really try to explain.
And I will say this
opportunities.
because I have a niece going into your program, and you have been completely straightforward about everything she has to do, everything she has to, and you really have. So it's you laid it all out for her. So it was very good. And you said you still have a few openings. So in case someone still might be interested, there is still a possibility of getting in for the fall. But you better get started.
Right, and our advisor is Anna Hall, ahall4@meridiancc.edu is her email.
Okay.
And she can let you know if you meet admission requirements. And one more thing I want to mention, we are accredited. So not all programs are accredited. So if you are going to go into the field, I highly recommend you go into an accredited program so you can get credentialed at the end. We've been accredited since 1979.
Excellent.
I think that's really,
that says something.
That's great, yeah.
Listen, thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you.
We'll be right back.
Become essential at Meridian Community College. Our community is changing, and at MCC, we are built for those who want to serve. Being essential has kept our community going. You can become that here, all at an affordable cost. Whether you dream of helping people through healthcare services or want to transport goods, connecting people with the products they need, we have many unique opportunities to help you find your purpose. Don't wait for change. Be the difference and register today. Become essential at Meridian Community College.
We are back with Miss Gina Mills, who is the Disability Support Services Coordinator. Welcome back. How are you doing?
I'm doing well, thank you.
Now, I wanted you back on the show because we're about to begin our fall semester, and we already have a number of issues dealing with, but sometimes we might have students who have these issues, and in addition to certain issues that they already have, we're putting COVID on top of that.
That is correct.
So we have to be extra careful in what we're doing. But I wanted to have you on to talk about our disability support services and what you do, but then let's try to see if we can broaden that out into to say, okay, if you're a student and you have compromised anything, these are the things you need to do.
Absolutely,
So,
because it does, it does change the dynamics of how everything works
Yes.
with all of us. So that's a very good point for us to discuss that. But traditionally, when things are on the norm, for students
Will
to
we
receive,
ever get back to the
I don't
norm?
know what is the norm. So for them to receive any kind of accommodations, first they have to be diagnosed with a disability.
Okay.
That-
So you can't just say, "Oh, I'm ADD."
Exactly, exactly. So, and a disability is such a broad spectrum. We have disabilities that are seen, and then we have disabilities that are not seen, like ADHD. So with that diagnosis, they must self-identify at post-secondary level.
Okay.
That's different, as we know, K through 12, teachers can refer.
Right.
Not the same
Don't do
here.
that here.
No referrals. You must come to me, self-identify. Now, some teachers will say, hey, you know, do you know Gina Mills? Let me walk with you, and they will walk the
That's what I
student
typically do in my
down.
classes.
Yes, so that's okay. That's okay for the instructors to do that. So once they do self-identify, then they must provide that documentation.
Okay.
If a student knows that they have a disability, they have that documentation, the best thing to do is when you come to my office, bring that documentation. That will, you know, save us having to schedule another meeting or...
The documentation also has to be recent.
Yes, it does have to be
within
recent.
a certain number of...
Within the last 3 years. So
Okay.
if you were tested in 5th grade, that paperwork will not work. It must, you know, you're going to have to go have a retest or update documentation because it can't date back farther than 3 years.
Okay. Now, once they have spoken to you and they have their documentation in order, a doctor has said, okay, yes, this is the disability, what services do you provide or do we provide for them?
We provide reasonable accommodations, meaning that we cannot modify curriculum. The
Okay.
curriculum is what it is. Again, K through 12, there can be modifications made. Not at post-secondary, so we give reasonable accommodations. For example, some of those would be with testing. A student would receive time plus 1/2, so they get extra test time. Then they can receive a separate testing area, trying to minimize distraction, especially important for, again, that ADHD student or a student with anxiety. So we have 10 separate testing areas in e-learning.
Right.
We have Proctor, as Bethany Bratu does an amazing job with the students. So they would schedule their testing appointments with her, and then they go to e-learning, and they have their own room with their own computer, door, privacy, quiet, and it really does help these students.
Well, as you said, we don't modify the curriculum. The whole point of this is to try to level the playing field as much as we possibly can.
Absolutely.
So you might have that extended time to test. You might have that testing without distractions. You know, you might, you know, in something as simple as, you know, enlarging a test for someone
Yes.
who has some eye problems.
Correct.
You know, things like that that
Right.
that we are able to do.
If they're not able to test on the computer and it's a computer generated test, instructors are awesome. They will print out an enlarged copy on paper. We also have provided readers to our visually impaired students. So it's just, you know, it fits. We work with you, the person that has a disability, to fit your disability. So all accommodations are not going to be the same. All disabilities aren't the same. In class, we work the same way. We individualize the accommodations for that student.
Now, once they have the accommodation and they filled out the paperwork, are they good for a year?
They are. They're well.
they good
no, I'm
for-
sorry. They're good for a semester.
So every
Yes.
semester they have to read. They
That
have
is
to redo
correct.
this. So, they have
So
to,
a student will walk in for August. So
Okay.
August 2020 semester, we complete the accommodations. That does not carry over to spring of 2021. The student must come in at the beginning of every semester or when they make their schedule, their new schedule. They must come in and we do the accommodations new for that schedule because they are class specific.
Okay. Okay. And so if they bring in their doctor's, report, do they have to bring it again?
No,
in
they
January?
don't.
Okay.
Very good
Or
question.
it's just the general paperwork that for the classes for the new schedule that they're doing.
That's correct.
Okay.
Once we take care of that initial paperwork,
Okay.
then it's easy. It only takes about 10 minutes. They can come in. Now, what we've been doing in the COVID crisis, I'm not forcing them to come in to sign. When I have their signature on file, then we can just go ahead and proceed with sending those accommodations out to avoid the student having to come in and during this time.
So many of our students do have compromised immune systems, and that's
Yes.
part of the disability that they're dealing with. So are we recommending for them to pretty much try to stay online as much
We
as possible?
are. As a matter of fact, I have a student in that exact situation. And so this student, we have made sure that everything the student has is online. When the student does come in to test, but we are cleaning, in a specific isolated area for that student to enter.
Okay.
Another thing, I have a student with severe anxiety. So the COVID crisis has increased the student's anxiety to the point that it's fearful for being out in public. Again, we've ensured this student's classes are all online.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, in addition to the disability support services, or part of that, we also offer. You are in charge of. Congratulations. Lending books.
Yes.
And our food bank.
A food bank. That is correct.
Okay.
So
if you could talk a little bit about both of those.
Sure. So right now, if you are in need of a book, then you could contact me, and I'll share my contact information. But normally the people that we loan books to are those people that do not receive any kind of grants, scholarships. If you're a Pell Grant recipient, then you would not be at the top of the list,
okay.
or any kind of scholarships.
Okay.
We want to help those people who are paying for their education, struggling, maybe they don't meet the criteria to receive a Pell Grant, right on the cutting edge. So we will let them check out books.
And these are books, not ebooks.
These are hard copies.
Okay.
We do not
don't
have
do-
any ebook, that is
Usually has
specific
to
to
be
each
licensed and-
individual,
yeah.
yes.
Okay.
So once that ebook is assigned automatically to that student, we have no access, and so we don't deal with that. Ours are all hard copies.
Okay. And then also we have the food bank.
We do. We
And
have
what is
a
our
wonderful
food bank?
food pantry, started by someone that was here prior. Did a phenomenal job getting that established. So we have an extensive food bank. That's for anyone. We don't need to know how many people are in your household, what your income is, or anything.
Mm-hmm.
They can call me and tell me, I might ask, do you have children? Because we want to, what food we give them, we like to make sure we include things for the children, be it juice boxes,
Sure.
Pop-Tarts, something like that. So that's for everyone. That's for students, even employees,
Okay.
because we've all had hard times in
Sure,
life. And
sure.
so, whatever we can do to try to help in a student's life, make it easier, reduce some of that stress so they can focus on their studies,
Excellent.
that's available. So
Well, we have a lot that we are offering that we can offer the students. But if we have a student who has a documented disability, how do they get in touch with you?
Okay, they can reach me several different ways.
Okay.
One would be to call my office number. That's 601-484-8777. My email address is gmills@meridiancc.edu.
And if they want everything situated and ready for them when they begin on the 17th, then they really need to start, is it a week earlier, 2 weeks earlier, to get everything in?
Right now is great.
Okay.
I'm here available, let's get it done. Because we do want that to be able to start August 17th. There is a 2-day processing period.
Okay.
So if they come in August 17th, then we process, they will not be effective until August 19th. So that's a
Okay.
very good point.
So if you want your services when we start,
Yes.
you need to get here at least the week before to try to
Yes.
get those services to get everything in process.
And again, they can call or email me if they want to do it that way without having to make an appointment to come in.
Excellent.
That would be fine because, I have had students run in on August 17th. They go, I have a test August 18th. Like, I'm sorry, we
Yeah,
can't do that.
it.
So
Well, listen, thank you so much for being here today. I
Absolutely,
really
Noel.
appreciate it.
Thank
as
you.
always. We'll be right back.
All right, so you're looking to make a career decision that's crazy smart and won't break the bank. Then let's start with tuition guarantee and a home field advantage. That's Meridian Community College, and we're changing the game. We've got heavy metal drilling and saving lives. Or how about building a rover that could drive on Mars? We're more than grades in a classroom. We're your Red Bull monster shot of knowledge that will help you own that next job. This is not just the 13th year, it's the gateway to your entire career. Are you ready for more? Well, the eagle has landed. Find your wings.
On behalf of executive producer Matt Milner and me, I want to thank you for watching MCC Today. I hope you learned something. Tune in next week as well. See you later.